Hey everyone, I'm back with another Rough Draft Challenge update. Okay, so let's talk about day 5. What did I do on day 5? What was day 5? Day 5 was Tuesday. Oh, right. Okay, I don't have my planner in front of me, so I'm a little lost. Day 5, I'm looking at my digital calendar. Let's see. So on day 5, I worked in my plotter outline a little more. I added a few more scenes, ideas for scenes with bullet points, and I set up my Google Doc for drafting because I decided, you know what, I've got the beginning, I've got most of the end, I've got enough scenes in the middle that I can start. So I set up the Google Doc, and what I do is I write in 2 separate documents because Google Docs gets laggy if you put too many words in it. So I write Act 1 through the midpoint in the first doc, and then Acts 3 and 4 and the epilogue in the second doc. So I set up the first document with all my scene headers because I title my scenes when I'm working in Plotter. Like, I'll have the one where Eric arrives, or the one where Stella sees the horses, or Stella and Gideon do things. We won't talk about what. So I set up all my headers and I put all my bullet point notes in, and then I'll do Act 2, and then I'll do Act 2 when I'm ready to start writing that, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's talk day 6. I didn't do anything story related on day 6. Well, that's not necessarily true. I didn't do any writing on day 6. I played around with the outline a little more, worked through a couple of questions I had about some things that happened in Act 1, and I spent most of the day editing video. So that's pretty much all I did. Okay, day 7, which is actually today, I started writing, y'all. I was so excited. So I got 2,103 words. That put me at 5,017 words. If you remember last week, I had a day where I wrote a couple scenes. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad I got a good start because I don't have time to write anymore today. I had a meeting with my accountability buddy this morning, and that was awesome. She's really good we have great conversations about our writing and about books and book-related stuff. And she's really good about, like, okay, what are you working on next week? So we keep each other accountable. And then I have a class this afternoon, and I'm meeting with my Publish and Thrive mastermind group tonight for the first time. I'm nervous and excited about that. So that's it for today. Hey everyone, let's talk about day 8 of the Rough Draft Challenge. First of all, I want to say pardon the mess. I have started Christmas decorating and I have crap everywhere. So I'll tidy up before I start recording next week. But I started with backdrop here. I replaced my Shakespeare prints with my fun dogs and some other fun text ones, and I got some lights up around Bob. For those of you who don't know, Bob is my skull. He keeps me company when I'm writing. So expect to see more holiday chaos behind me. I didn't decorate for Halloween this year, and I usually do, and I regretted it the whole month of October. And so when November 1st hit, I started pulling out the Christmas decorations, and my husband was like, "You are not serious." And I was like, "Oh, yes, I am." So anyway, enough about holiday decor. On the 8th, which was Friday, I wrote 2,155 words, and that was a really good writing day for me. Fridays tend to be good because there's a lot going on in the AuthorTube community on as far as sprints. So I get a lot done those days. So day 9, I didn't get a lot done. 784 words was my total. I just wasn't feeling the words weren't coming easily, and I'm early enough in the draft that I don't really feel like forcing them. So instead, I started working on Reels for social media. One of my goals for Q3, geez, it's November, y'all. We are in Q4. One of my goals for Q4 was to be more consistent with my social media posting. But I mean, I gotta tell you, it is hard. So has anyone else noticed that it has just become a pit of loneliness and despair? On like Instagram especially. So I don't do TikTok. It's just too much overstimulation for me. So I do YouTube, obviously, Instagram and Facebook. And it has become just a mess. Like, I noticed shortly before they started wanting us to pay for those stupid blue check marks that the algorithm changed and it was so much harder to get visibility. And obviously they did that to get us to all pay for the blue check mark. But it's just gotten progressively worse. And I don't have a huge community on Instagram. And they used to be fairly active. Like, you know, I got likes and comments and, sometimes had actual conversation going. But ever since those changes, I get like maybe 5 likes on a post. It's disheartening. But then I scroll through my feed and it's like an ad, a suggested post, more ads, another suggested post, and then one post of someone I follow. So for every like 3 Instagram, I don't know why I just did air quotes, but Instagram ads, sponsored posts or suggested posts, you get maybe 1 post from someone you're following. I don't understand that. Like, I wouldn't be following the people I'm following if I didn't want to see their posts. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my social media rant, but it's very disheartening. And where I was going with that was I'm trying to get better and more consistent, especially with Reels. So that's what I did most of Saturday was I worked on Reels, but I am way too persnickety about these things and I need to just be less, I don't know. I always want the exact perfect everything and I need to just let that stuff go. All right. That's Saturday. Okay. So day 10. Today, Sunday, I wrote 1,584 words. And then it was time for my sprints. So I'm actually recording this while I'm hosting sprints on YouTube. So that's what I got written today. I'm exhausted. I did not sleep well last night. I went to bed around 9 p.m. and then woke up wide awake at 10:30 and tossed and turned for a couple of hours until I finally just gave up and started reading a book. And was reading until about 2:30 in the morning and slept until 7, which is very late for me. I'm usually up at 4:30, so I'm all discombobulated this day. But I mean, let's be real. I'm all discombobulated most days, right? Y'all know that by now. So anyway, that was all the writing I got done today. I'm hosting sprints right now. We have a really fun group. If you haven't checked out my sprints, I'd love it if you joined. I sprint from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday mornings and noon to 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. And then I occasionally pop up during the week at other times. The best way to stay up to date on my sprinting schedule is to like and subscribe and then check my community tab. That's where I post my schedule. That's what I got done today. The rest of the day is going to be sprinting, editing this video, and then if I have time, I'm going to finish updating my manuscript for my editor. Basically what that means is, like I said earlier, I write in Google Docs to start, and then I move it over to Word because that's where most editors like to do their work. I don't mind doing that because it gives me one last chance to just do a cursory check for typos because there will always be typos. I don't care how many times you go over a manuscript, how many different people go over a manuscript, there will always be typos. Okay, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you enjoy writing sprints, I'd love to see you on Wednesday mornings or Sunday afternoons. Just check my community tab, like I said earlier, and I will see you soon. Bye.